Hello, my name's Maria, and you're watching The Richardson Simple Living. So, welcome to today's vlog. It's going to be Friday's tea and chat, or coffee and chat if you drink coffee. So, first thing we're going to do is make that drink. So, I'll bring you down, you can see what I'm doing. Not sure what we can see actually. The sun's shining in at the moment, so I'm not sure what you can see. So, let's make a cup of tea before we start our chat today. So if you do yours while I'm doing mine. Need a spoon. Oh yeah, pop that on and be a bit noisy for a little while. Yeah, I thought today what we might chat about is well, when I started my YouTube channel, I was telling you about that last week, how and why I'd started it. So I thought this week I'd talk a bit about why I kept it secret. I didn't actually tell anybody and I kept it secret. So I thought we'll have a chat about that. I'll tell you something as well that happened to me in the week, which I thought was a bit odd. Well, a bit funny and a bit odd, but yeah, we'll just have a general chit chat. I've got tons and tons of questions, but I'm not going to do all them today. A bit noisy now, but I won't get through all them, but I think over coming weeks we'll get through some of them, so we'll chuck perhaps a few in. We'll see what we've got. Let's do this tea. So yeah, that's what we'll do today. So Friday's tea and chat will basically be just sort of, we'll have a cup of tea, or if you drink coffee, in your case it will be coffee, and just have a chat really about anything. You know, it could be questions, it could be anything that's happened in the week, it could be something on the news or anything like that. Bring up it. There's the milk, look. Dean made a drink last, and there's the milk. Slotted down there. So we'll take that back down to the fridge with us. I don't think he's had it out long. He must have took it out of the fridge because not long ago, because it's still cold. So that's that. I don't think I'll carry everything actually. Might have to come back for the milk. Take the tea down first. Right, put that down there. And we'll go get back and get the milk because I can't carry everything. We'll bring that down with us. Then Dean will come in to make a drink again and we'll go, where's the milk gone? And moan at me for moving it. Right. Oh, they'll took the door off. Right then, situate you down here, and I'm going to get a chair. We're a bit anyhow my filming, isn't it? But never mind, it's real. Right, just move you across and bring you down a bit. We'll sit here. It's better here because this part of the kitchen where the dining room is, well, it's not really a dining room, but I've got my dining table in here. I've got a big door there, it's all glass panels, so I've got lots of light coming in. And there's big double windows behind you with lots of light. And of course there's the other back door that's sort of half panelled and half window. So I've got loads of light down here. So I find it better for filming down here. So yeah, our tea and chat, or coffee and chat. So, like I say, each week we'll just chat about anything. You know, it could be questions, it could be just something going on or whatnot, or maybe you viewers will send me some questions or ask me about things, or say, oh, I've got something that I'd like you to chat about. So it could be anything. But I'm going to swap my glasses first of all. Did that last time. Forget which ones I've got on. But yeah, like I say, this time I'm going to chat about, to start off with, about the YouTube channel, actually. Last week I was telling you why I started a YouTube channel and what we were going to do with it. Do you know, I'm always adjusting things and what we're going to do with it, where it's headed. So it'd be more like home life type of content, whereas it had originally started home schooling, home educated. So it'd be more home life. And because me and Dean have now retired, there'll be a lot of sort of retirement things as well. We can answer retirement questions or tell you what we're doing and that kind of thing and how that's going. So it'd be all sorts of things, topical things, that maybe news headlines or things like that. But the one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to get too political or anything like that. I don't want to stir up contention amongst people or, you know, cause arguments or anything like that. Or I don't want to become one of these channels when we have our chats where it becomes like fear-mongering, get my words out, scaremongering, you know, all these sort of, I can't think of the word for it, but when they tell you all the worst of everything, and, you know, it gets a bit scary for some people. So yeah, so if ever I talk about anything sort of going on, it'll be more in my point of view or having a moan. But no, I don't want to do anything that's, you know, too serious. So yeah, I'm not a serious person. So yeah, leading on from last week on about my YouTube channel, I didn't tell anybody. When I first decided to start up my channel, I thought I'm not going to tell anybody at all. Not going to tell my children, not going to tell anybody whatsoever. Because I think the main reason for that, I mean, there are a few reasons, and I had jotted down reasons that sort of came along. But the main reason for that at that time was I didn't know if I'd stick to it. I just didn't know. I was a bit nervous. I'd never done nothing like that before, but I wanted to sort of talk about Sian's home education because there wasn't so many channels talking about it. Well, there was for younger children, primary age, but Sian had started doing it from secondary age, so there wasn't a lot of that on there. And I thought it might be nice if I sort of go on and talk about what she's doing and you know, find other mums who are in a similar position and sort of start a bit of a community going, you know. So I didn't know if that would work. I didn't know whether I'd be brave enough to do it because, like I've said last week, I'm quite an anxious person. So I didn't know if I would do that and stick to it. So that's one reason I didn't tell anybody, because I thought, well, if I just do the first or second one or a few of them and then decide it's not for me and stop, nobody be none the wiser. So that was one of the reasons, the main first reason I didn't say. And I suppose also coupled with that is confidence as well, whether I'd have the confidence to carry it on and keep on doing it. And, you know, if people knew about it and started saying things about it, then my confidence might have been knocked. So yeah, that was sort of all in with that. And then in fact, I always remember one of my sons, he watches YouTube and he's got a YouTube channel. He's SAR Histories, and he's got a good channel, and he was doing something on his channel, and you know how you get different sort of things suggested to you, or popped one with his dad on it, and he goes, hang on a minute, that's my dad. My dad's got a YouTube channel. They clicked on and realised it was me, and that's how he found out. And gradually people started to find out that way, because I had a cousin and he doesn't live anywhere near me, and he wasn't even looking for anything to do with home education. I think he was looking for something to do with caravanning or caravan parts, and I popped up in his feed and he was like, that's my cousin. So for some reason I was popping up in people's feeds, and I don't have a clue how, especially when it was, I'd got a subject that none of the others had anything to do with, because I'm the only one in my family that is home educated. So how I was popping up with home education on their channels, which one was history and one was looking for caravanning, totally different subjects altogether. So that's how they started to find out. Then they start telling one another. So yeah, that's how people did find out. But another thing is that you worry as well that people don't want you to succeed. I was thinking, well, what if it did do all right and I took to it? Okay, you know, you worry that people don't want the best for you sometimes, and sometimes that is your nearest and dearest. It's very sad to say, but sometimes it is. And you think, well, you know, what if they sort of put me down a bit or laugh at me? That's a big thing, if they laugh at me for doing such a thing. And and you get a bit self-conscious anyway, because really, I mean, now I feel like I am talking to you, or you could all be sort of in my kitchen and I feel like I'm talking to you, but at that time just felt like I was talking to myself. So to somebody who doesn't do YouTubing, is not familiar with it, they would just see me or hear me and think, she's talking to herself, sort of thing. So yeah, it's sort of being ridiculed and being made fun of as well. And because I suffer anxiety, that would soon knock my confidence, and I would want to stop. Now I wouldn't, because I'm very used to it now, but then back then when I started, I would have done. Another thing is then you've got to prepare yourself, because once people do all know, everybody floods with ideas. If they think you're doing all right and they're not there to knock you or anything like that, they start flooding with all these ideas. Oh, you want to talk about this, and you want to say about that, and you want to do this, and your channel ought to do that. And it's like, oh, hang on a minute. You've got to be careful what you do and what you say and what you have your channels about. You don't want to be upsetting people or things like that. Like I was just saying, I don't really want my tea and chats to get political, because, it could cause a lot of hassle, that could. I don't want to go down that route. So I don't mind mentioning some things off the bat, but not for big discussions that will cause hassle and offend people. I don't want to do nothing like that, because we're all different. We all have our own ways and all have our own thoughts and ideas. It's great banding them about, but you don't want to upset people with them. So yeah, you've got to be careful, because then they all come at you saying, oh, you want to do this and you want to do that, and half of it's either not applicable to you or not suitable. So there is that as well. And the famous phrase that a lot of them will say, if I was you, and you think, oh no, don't say it. But you're not me. So yeah. If you wonder what I'm looking at my notes, because as I was thinking back, I was looking at some of the early ones and thinking back and how I thought and felt at that time. So I jotted it down while it was fresh in my memory. So yeah, and one of the big questions that they all ask you once you get going and you're sticking at it, they all say it to you, because they're all watching your figures then. They're all watching till you hit that 1,000 mark that can monetize you, but you do need 4,000 watch hours as well. Well, I hit them well before I hit the 1,000 subscribers. So they're all watching that, and then the minute you do, it's how much you're making, how much you're earning. Goodness, nothing really. But they won't believe that. You've got to be making a fortune, and then before you know, they're telling everybody else, oh, they're YouTubing and they're making a fortune. No, I'm not. You don't make any fortune. It's rare to make a fortune. I mean, there are some that do, your real big shots, but I'm nowhere near that, and I never ever will be. So yeah, and that's one thing they do all ask you, and they're going around telling everybody you're making a fortune, and people believe it, and it's like, no, don't be silly. So yeah, they were reasons really why I didn't tell anybody at the beginning. But like I say, I started appearing on people's feeds, family members, and they will realise what I do, and then they start telling each other, and they tell others and their friends, and they're all pretty good really, because at this point I decided to stick with it, and they were getting their friends to subscribe and things like that, and supporting each other. And it's surprising how many people you find have got channels themselves, and you can go across and support them as well. So yeah, it wasn't so bad in the end. But I think that's a big reason a lot of YouTubers do that. It's nerve-wracking to tell anybody at first. And it doesn't have to be YouTube, and it can be anything. I mean, you might have all done something where you thought, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody, we'll see how it goes. And it's like that with a lot of things, because it's safer not to sometimes. And see how things go. So yeah, that was why I never told anybody. So I was going to tell you about something strange that happened to me this week as well. Swapping my books over. I've got my question book, reams of questions. When you say to somebody what's questions you'd ask, and next thing you know, you've got thousands. I didn't realise there were so many. In fact, by the time I got through all of them, which will take me months, you'll know me better than I know myself. But yeah, a strange thing that happened this week. Went shopping, and we done the shopping, and then I needed to go to B&M. So it's like what do you call them? Not I keep calling them industrial parks, like shopping parks. My brain's gone. And anyway, we were on the shopping park place, and the Costa shop is on one side across the road, and then the car park is at opposite, and it's like loads of different shops, all your B&M Poundlands, all your different shops. You know how you get them on these estates. So yeah, Dean had gone across to get the coffee, and I said, well, I'm just nipping down to Poundland. So I went into Poundland and got the bits I wanted from there, and Sean was with me, and we were coming back, and Dean had parked right at the very top, so we were walking up from Poundland, and he just got to go across. Well, he spotted a friend in a car, and he'd done before me. I was still in Poundland when he'd done this, and so he'd gone to talk to this friend in the car. Well, I'd passed this car anyway to get to our car, and spotted Dean, and Dean says, "Oh, here's your card back," sort of thing, and he passed me the Costa card and the pound change, and I went, "Oh, I'm rich," sort of thing, laughing at this pound. And they were all laughing, sort of thing, having a joke. And this strange guy walks right past me and Sean. He looked at me because I was walking away at this point with the Costa card in my hand and the pound. And I clutched it quite tight so he couldn't really see what the card was because I've got the pound in my hand. And this bloke looked at me and goes, "Did that bloke give you his bank card?" And I just looked at him astonished, but he carried on walking. He didn't stop. He just carried on. And I thought, what a weird thing to say. How weird is that? Sean looked at me, I looked at her, and I said to Dean, I told him about it when he come back to the car. And he goes, "Oh, what did you think you were, taking a card?" And he goes, "Obviously one of those ladies earning money, like a lady of the night, but in the day." A swig of tea. That's a strange thing to do. It wasn't even the bank card, it was the Costa card, because you use it to get points every time you get your coffee. You get 10 points, you get free coffee. So yeah, I thought that was a really weird thing. I've never had that happen to me before. Some strange bloke walked past me and said, "Did he just give you his card?" What? He never even hung around for me to say it's my husband and he's giving me the Costa card and change. He just carried on walking right past me because we were walking that way and he just came right past. He looked at me and said it. I thought, strange. Really weird. So that's my strange experience this week. Have you had any strange experiences and weird things happening? That was definitely weird. So yeah. Yeah, that was that. So I might give you a couple of the questions off this huge list. I wrote them all down. The hand ached by the time I finished writing lots of them, but I'm not going to do all that. We'll work through a few at a time and we can have a chat as we go with them. So one person had asked me, what time do I go to bed, and sort of bedtime routines and what time I go to bed. But that is a seasonal thing, because at the moment, when it's dark at night, I like to go to bed early. I like to be tucked up, not to go to sleep, but I like to put the telly on. I play Candy Crush on my tablet. Sometimes I read. Sometimes I do other things, sometimes I'll just perhaps work out what I'm doing for the month, or, shopping lists, anything like that sometimes. So I don't go to bed to sleep, but it's dark downstairs. I think, why sit down on settee when I could be in my comfy bed upstairs and warmer? You don't need to put all the lights and heating on downstairs then. You can just concentrate it to one room. So yeah, I like to do that. And I like to shut the bedroom door, and it's just sort of me time in a way. It's just me time. So yeah, the time roughly is about 9 o'clock. One day this week actually went at 8:30 though. Dean watches telly downstairs, but he'll come up then shortly after me, take the dog out, and then come up shortly afterwards, and we just watch telly upstairs. So one day it was 8:30, he was watching something that I weren't interested in anyway, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to chill in bed, put my game on, play my game a bit. So yeah, this time of year when it's dark, I will go up. The average is 9 o'clock. So yeah, routine. I don't normally have a drink before I go to bed. I normally have the last one about an hour before I go to bed. And then we'll just go, I just brush my teeth, have a wash, and then just get in bed and just switch on what I'm going to be doing. And then probably settle down for going to sleep about 11 o'clock, which then in summer is the time we actually go to bed, because if it's light nights, I like to sit out and make the most of it. If it's summery, that is. If it's raining, I don't bother. But if it's light nights, it's summery and you can sit out, then we actually go up to bed at about 11 o'clock. But other than that, I'll go up about 9 o'clock, but I won't go to sleep till about 11. So yeah, that's time to go to bed. Like I say, it's seasonal. I've got some strange questions here. Who is my celebrity crush? Celebrity crushes. Celebrity crushes. I used to like Mel Gibson. I thought he was rather nice. He's older now though, but then so am I. But yeah, I used to like Mel Gibson. I thought he was quite nice. And Sean Connery was quite a distinguished gentleman. Once I got crushes though, but they were just nice. Dean, I think he always liked, I don't know if anybody's seen the series Vikings, he always liked the woman who played Lagertha on that. So, yeah. I suppose like with all the people I like, sort of, well, not crushes, things like that, but the sort of thing you go for, I like dark hair. Like, people like either blue eyes, brown eyes. I don't mind colour of eyes, but I always seem to like people with darker hair rather than blonde. I've never gone into sort of fair-haired men or ginger-haired, lighter-haired men. It's always been dark-haired men. Although I don't mind grey. I'm getting older. So yeah. I'm not going to do too many of these actually, because I've got to keep an eye on the time. We've been chopsing now for about 20 minutes. So yeah, we can do some of these another day. But yeah, that's sort of, I wouldn't call it a celebrity crush, but celebrities that I liked, What do we value in our friends? What do I value in your friends? Obviously, with friends, you value honesty, wouldn't you? Honesty. I mean, when you think of a friend, you think of somebody who's honest and, somebody who's there for you, sort of thing. I mean, what do you value in a friend? Yeah, just somebody who's there for you, really. Somebody who's honest, somebody you can chat with about anything, somebody you can laugh with about anything. I mean, I had a best friend and we did some of the craziest things ever. We were like Thelma and Louise without going over the cliff. But we did some right stupid things and we'd laugh and laugh until we were crying and we couldn't breathe, I suppose that's a good thing. You want somebody you can actually laugh with like that, because laughter is good for your health, isn't it? It's good for you, makes you feel better. So, yeah, that's something I value with most people, not just a friend, but with everybody. You value sort of honesty and, I mean, obviously, not everybody's there for you because that's got to be somebody closer to you, but somebody you can have a laugh with. I mean, even people that you meet randomly, you can sort of have a quick laugh with. If you're in a queue in a shop and you can have a laugh with people that don't have to be your friends, but I just think it's nice to spread a bit of happiness and get on with everybody, really. Anyway, I think because of time, we have been talking for quite a bit. I will leave it there. I have got I sat and wrote them all out, got them all rough somewhere. I just gathered them all from different places and wrote them all in this book. I thought they'll do for the weeks coming, and we'll work our way through, and then sort of, like I say, you'll know more about me than I know myself. But yeah, you can tell me about yourself as well, sort of things you get up to. I can't stop thinking about my friend now, all the daft things we used to do. I remember once we were sat in what we thought was a traffic light, so we're on red, we queued up, and they went to green, and like this car in front was not moving. And my friend was calling them everything and saying, can you drive and everything? Turned out nobody's in it, it's parked up. We queued behind a parked car. We laughed ages about that. She was calling them daft. Oh, and another time, I remember she had this navy blue car and I had a navy blue jumper and we used to go shopping together every week. And she dropped me off and I was unloading the boot and dropped something on the floor. So I bent down to pick it up. She thought I'd gone in the house, started reverse, and I was like, hey, stop. I was behind the car and bent down. She nearly ran me over. But we used to do some stupid things, lots more stupider things than that. But that was just some of the better ones, not so stupid. But yeah. Oh, tell me about all your funny moments you've done with friends and things like that. And what time do you go to bed, your routines and all that kind of thing. Yeah, drop them in the comments down below. We'll do some more questions. We'll have some tea and chats and we'll talk about other things. I mean, I might even do an extra day, not just to get through all these questions, but to talk about other things as well, because I might talk about retirement, how we're getting on with that. So I might have a day for a chatty vlog where we talk about retirement issues or talk about other things that are happening at the moment. I mean, the news today is all about tariffs. Like I said, I don't want to get political, but that's all what the news is today. And I can't pretend to understand all of that. And everything chops and changes so much, so can't keep up with it anyway. So we'll just see what happens with that. So yeah, somebody asked me as well about all these Bova trials. So I've been looking into some of that actually, and you know, the safety food and insect eating and all that kind of thing, my thoughts on that. So that might make a nice conversation. I will look into it more though. Don't know everything about all those kind of things, but we'll just see what's what I can see. So do a bit of research on it. So that'll make another conversation, and I've got tons of conversations. We can have about all kinds of things. And I think what's nice is because you're not all from the UK, as well, some of you from other countries, and sort of it's nice hearing what it's like where you are and something that's going on there, and you know, compared to the things that sort of go on here as well. So we're going to leave it at that for now, because otherwise we'll be here hours and hours, because I love chatting away. I'll have to do a live one of these days, but I'm not sure how that'll work. My daughter says it'll have to be deathly quiet, so you can't guarantee in this house if someone's going to walk in York. But yeah, that'd be quite good though if we could do that. But anyway, she'll be back now next week. I'm debating next week whether to do an Aldi vlog or not on Wednesday. I mean, what do you think? I was thinking I might do a taste testing vlog. So I've still got those macaroni pies and I do need to try them, see if I like them. And so I thought I could do that. And then it was mentioned about Dean trying a peanut butter and what was it, onions on the sandwich, because Dean likes anything on the sandwich. So I thought that might make quite a good vlog. While I test that, Dean could test the sandwich and see what it was like. So I'm thinking, shall I do that next Wednesday? Or do you want me to do the Aldi vlogs? I sometimes think perhaps they're too much the same and you'll be getting fed up of them. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. So until next week, take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching and have a lovely weekend. So until I see you next, bye.